Hi guys, it's me, Mary from Cringy44, and this is my first animated video. So I'll be talking about pain, as the title should say. So I've technically not broken any bones, but I have pulled and fractured some bones. So I'll be talking about the fracture first, because that's the first bone I needed a cast thing for. You'll understand once I tell the story. So one day my mom was driving me and my brother Gus to our grandma and grandpa's house I forgot what we were going there for, but that doesn't matter. Anyway, we got to my grandparents' house and my mom and brother went inside and left me in the car because I was slow getting out. Keep in mind that we had a long van with a sliding door to get out of the middle row, which is where me and my brother sat, and that door was on my side of the car. So I got out and closed the door. This sliding door was hard to close, especially for a 6-year-old, which was around my age at the time. So I had to use a lot of force to close the door. My hand was a bit too close to the doorway, so when I closed the door, I accidentally slammed my fingers in the car door with a lot of force because I was 6 years old. I screamed like I had gotten stabbed, as any normal kid would after slamming their fingers in a door. My mom and grandma came running to the car like the house was on fire. My mom could barely open the door because, number one, our van was old and needed a lot of force to move the door even if an adult was moving it. And number two, my fingers were jammed in the door, making it harder to open. Luckily, she got it open and immediately got my family back in the car and drove to the hospital because everyone thought I had broken my fingers. It must have been a short visit from my grandparents. Imagine being my mom. You walk inside your parents' house and then 2 seconds later, you hear your daughter scream from the top of her lungs, and then after freeing her from a car door, you have to be like, "Okay, it was nice seeing you, but I have to take Mary to the hospital now, bye." It turns out I had fractured my middle and ring finger on my right hand. I had to get one of those foam and tape casts with popsicle sticks in it to support my fingers, I think. And then a few weeks later, after I got the cast thing off, my nails died and turned black. And then at my dad's house a few days later, they both fell off. It was a terrifying experience for a 6-year-old. Okay, next story. So this was recent, back in the beginning of 2021. This is when I realized that 2021 was going to be one heck of a year. So I was making a trailer on iMovie because I love making movies and stuff. The trailer was called Night of the Karens. And if you didn't already know, mean and dramatic as heck people are called Karen. I don't know why, it was just a thing and I wanted to make a movie about it. And sorry to everyone named Karen, you're probably not mean and dramatic for no reason. If you know anything about movies, then you should know that every movie has to have a trailer. Well, every movie I made. So I was making a trailer for this movie, and one of the scenes was me running wonky pretending to be an angry Karen. You probably already know what's going to happen. So as I was running, I landed on my right foot weird, and it started hurting like someone had cut the side of my foot off. If you've ever landed on your foot sideways, you know how painful that is. For me, it was about 100 times worse. I couldn't even stand up at first. Even after the pain settled a little bit, I still could not put any pressure on my right foot. My mom thought I just sprained or something, but no, it was way worse. After a few days, my foot was swelling and kept hurting, so my mom got worried and took me to the doctor to get an x-ray. I don't remember the x-ray that well, but I think it's one of those ones where you lay down on a bed, put this heavy blanket apron thing over the rest of your body, and shine this laser at the x-rayed part and x-ray it. I had pulled this small bone in my foot away from the rest of my bones. I basically dislocated a floating bone. I had to put on this giant plastic sock thing without the toe part. It looks like this. I also had to use crutches and go to monthly foot appointments at this mini hospital on the side of the local hospital. Luckily, it's fine now and I got my cast off after a few months. Let's talk about other pain I've experienced, because why not? Our family has a dog. She is biggish and the literal devil. Her name is Junie B. You might have heard me talk about her in some videos. She is a pit bull, I think. She is an all-black dog with some white on all of her paws, her belly, and a cute little white strip on her nose. This is her. She is 5 years old. She doesn't mean to hurt anyone, most of the time. She just gets so excited and jumps on you and scratches you because her nails are 20 miles long because she bites your hand off if you try to clip her nails. Same with baths. She despises water. Besides for lakes, she loves lakes. One time we took her on a walk to this lake near our apartment, and we had the stupid idea to let her swim in the lake. It was summer, I think. Well, it was hot out, especially for a black dog. So we let her in the lake, and she immediately swam right to the middle of the lake. My mom was holding on to the leash the whole time so she couldn't run away, because Junie B would explore the world if we let her off her leash. We can barely even keep her on the leash. She swam away, and after a few minutes, my mom called for her. She did not come. She shook a bag of dog treats she had brought, but Junie B still wouldn't come. She loves food. She loves anything that's edible or not edible. She eats anything. She would eat a wall if she wanted, and she has, 2 times. So Junie B wouldn't stop swimming, and nothing was getting her out of the lake. That's when we started to panic. I thought we would have to abandon our dog in a lake. After a few minutes, we got her out, thankfully. What was I talking about again? Pain? Oh yeah. So as I was saying a few minutes ago, my dog gets so excited that she will jump on you and most likely will accidentally hurt you. I have a baby brother too. His name is Roland. Roland likes to pull your hair and bite and scratch you. Remind you of anyone, Junie B? I have also hurt myself. Not on purpose, I'm just dumb. I have gotten paper cuts, bruises, scratches, all that. I don't know if my knees are a scar magnet or what, but I've gotten almost every single scar on my knees. The first scar on my knees that I can remember was when I was 4 or 5 or something. I can't remember things that well. So I had literally just gotten this beautiful pink flower dress and was running around outside with it. It was a bit too long for me because I accidentally stepped on the skirt of the dress and fell forwards. I ripped a huge hole in my minute-old dress and got a big scrape on my knee. Another time on summer vacation in 2020 or 2021, I had the hobby of riding my scooter on a sidewalk in front of a park across the street from my house with our local pool on the other side. So as I was riding, I reached the other end of the sidewalk, but I turned a bit too far than I wanted and my scooter hit the grass. Since scooters are stupid and super delicate, my scooter stopped immediately, sending me flying through the air. I landed on the sidewalk and felt fine, until after a few more minutes of scootering, my arm and knee hurt a little bit. I looked at it thinking it would be a small scrape, but no. My knee was bleeding, but my arm had about a 4-inch scrape and was dripping blood. I freaked out, mostly because there were little kids at the park and I didn't want to traumatize them. I went home and was like, "Hey Mom, I'm bleeding everywhere. Can I have a Band-Aid or something?" Another time I was opening a soda bottle, and it was one of those small ones with a twist-on cap, so I opened it after a lot of force and got a small blister. It wasn't one of those big water-filled blisters. It just made a small mark and the skin died about a month later. I also get hangnails and pick them off and then start bleeding. Also, this one time a couple years ago, we had this couch by the door and a trampoline-like dog bed next to it. My dumb brain decided to do this thing where I hop on one foot on the dog bed and then onto the couch. After about 2 goes, I landed on my ankle weird and it hurt. And then I jumped on it a few more times. Another time I was at the preschool playground. That's the park in the scooter story. It's not an actual preschool playground, it's just made for toddlers, or at least seems like it. So I was at the park with my neighbors, and I decided to do this thing where I would go halfway down one of the slides and then jump off it. Soon I landed on my back and knocked the air out of me. That did not feel good. I do stupid things all the time, like jump off my brother's bed, which is the top of our bunk bed, and jump on basketballs and try to balance. And I have super sensitive skin, so I'm surprised I don't get hurt more than I do. Anyway, I think this is the end. Bye! Ah! Okay.